Good afternoon, I'm David Mitchell and this is your 3 o'clock news bulletin for Solent Journalism. Southampton has joined the nation remembering those who gave their lives in the First World War. Local veterans and family members of those who died join others in a 2-minute service at the cenotaph today at 11 o'clock to mark Armistice Day. More commemorations will take place there this Sunday from 10:30, the first time this has happened in 2 years. We spoke to one of the veterans to find out what Armistice Day means and represents.
It commemorates the end of the First World War, and it's where we remember all the soldiers and airmen and sailors that have lost their lives, made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms, and to give people like you the right to do what you do.
Police are appealing for witnesses following a fatal collision in Southampton this morning. The serious collision involving a cyclist and a lorry happened on Western Avenue in Southampton around 6 a.m. The cyclist, a man in his 50s, was pronounced dead at the scene. His next of kin have been informed and are being supported by specialist officers. A 28-year-old man from Dudley has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving and remains in custody at this time. Southampton environmental activist Chris Packham has issued a stark warning at the COP26 conference. In a speech delivered remotely, he warned that everyone has a part to play in saving our planet.
Rely on our parents if we're children. We can't rely on our families if we're adults. We can't rely on our communities or our countries. We've all got to play a proactive role in this. And singularly, the most important thing that we can all do is, as individuals, recognise that if we empower ourselves to make a difference, that's a good thing. And it's also a synergistic thing when more of us do it. And that's what we've seen here in the fringe events and in those marches where people have taken to the streets. People are disappointed, frustrated, angry, but determined to solve this problem. And when they come together with that collective empowerment, that's where I think our species' greatest strength lies.
Meanwhile, the City Council has announced today that it will be working to save up to 200 tonnes of CO2 a year through improvements to its buildings. On Saturday, more than 500 people demonstrated in Southampton, demanding action be taken on climate crisis. Ben Axon reports.
With COP26 coming to a close in Glasgow, focus now turns to action as local governments try to achieve their own emissions goals. Southampton City Council have released a statement today saying work will commence on 7 major government buildings around the city. Southampton needs to reduce its emissions by 60% in the next 3 years. The Civic Centre is currently powered by a geothermal plant located nearby. There will be solar panels fitted to other major buildings, but the work will not stop there. Southampton is a major polluter with low recycling rates compared to the rest of the UK. The local government hopes to achieve their emission targets through various projects. Those include planting at least 25 new wildflower meadows by 2025, doubling citywide recycling rates, drastically reducing the car journeys into the city centre by delivering a fully zero-emission public transport system across the city by 2030. Southampton locals think more needs to be done around transport.
Ships. The technology is available. Don't know why they don't use it. Ban heavily polluting council vehicles.
More cycling, less cars.
With plenty of targets being set up and down the country, now is the time to all work together to fight the climate disaster. I've been Benjamin Axon for Solent Journalism.
Care home workers in Southampton and across the country face losing their jobs if they are not vaccinated. Staff need to have both jabs by midnight or face being forced out of work. Marks & Spencer's recently made the decision to allow its staff to include their chosen pronouns on their name badges. The decision has been praised by local LGBT charities but has received some backlash on social media. We asked to get your views on the idea.
To know their pronouns, I think that's fair, and I don't see what the problem is though, because I think on a lot of things they have like female, male, so if they want to have their pronouns, I think that's fair.
In their opinion, like, good for them. Like, if people want to be referred to as a certain pronoun, then fair enough. So them being for that and kind of like expressing that and pushing that forward is a good movement. I feel like, yeah, why not?
For Marks and Spencers to encourage pronouns, I think it goes one step further than they should be treading.
Yeah, it's a good idea because I've been in a situation, in quite a few situations where like you'll go into a shop and you'll be like, hi, is it he or she does it? She'll be like, is it he or she? Or and then I'm like, oh my god. You feel awkward, tiara.
Everybody has an opinion, they're allowed to get on with their life in the way they want to get on with their life. I just feel there's certain aspects of the world, life in general has gone crazy. Just it's hard to understand it now.
I'd say that it's pretty useful actually. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that having pronouns is really useful to their identity. So yeah, I think that's pretty important.
Tomorrow marks the last day of Talk Money Week. Southampton City Council have been working with the Money and Pension Service to work towards removing the stigma some people have around discussing issues surrounding money with friends and family. Liz Donegan, Chief Officer of Citizens Advice Southampton, told us, with cuts to universal credit and increasing energy prices, many people will be feeling the squeeze on their finances, so talking about money now is more important than ever. And we end on some positive news, sort of. Southampton Christmas Market makes its long-awaited return to the High Street next week. The switching on of the lights will take place on Thursday at around 7 p.m, but unfortunately we will not see the return of the ice rink or Santa, who is staying at home to stay safe from COVID concerns. He wants to make sure he can be all right to deliver those presents. And that's all from us for now. You can find all of our stories and more online. Head to solentjournalism.co.uk. We'll be back with more next week. Goodbye.